Hi, I'm Liz with Liz's Crafts, and today I'm going to show you how I made this 3-tier tray using mica powders and 2-part epoxy resin. So for the resin, I'm using craft resin, epoxy resin. It is part A and part B. You mix equal parts by volume. And here's the hardener. And I am mixing up 100 milliliters. And I just want to stir that slowly for 4 minutes. Once that's mixed up, then I can put it in my mica powder. And I will be using I'll be pouring the middle section of the tray first. So I'm going to use gold, I think it says gold yellow mica powder. I got a box of like 26 off of Amazon. So I put 2 large scoops of the mica powder in my resin. And I'm just going to mix that up slowly until all the powder is mixed in with the resin. Now here's the middle tray for the tier tray. And there's a little knob in the very center of it, and that's for you to put your hardware on. So I'm just going to pour all around it and the outside edges. This is a very pretty yellow, very pretty. And I did use every drop of this resin for this particular tray. And I do spray it with my 91% alcohol. I didn't think I'd be able to use it, but I have seen other resiners use it, so I decided to do that. I did have to prop up my styrofoam a little bit because it was a little uneven, and I didn't want my resin to flow out of my tray. There's where I'm spraying it with the alcohol. And now I'm going to use pink, and I mixed up some more resin. I started out with 80 milliliters, and I think I had to do another 10 milliliters to fill it up. So I should have mixed up 90 for this one. But I had to do 2 batches, actually. I did 80 and then I did some more. So I believe the top tray takes 90 milliliters. And this pink is a really pretty color. Again, I'm doing the same thing. I put it around the little knob in the center and then go around the edges. And like I said, I did mix up more and fill the tray the rest of the way up because it wasn't as full as I would like it to be. And now for the bottom of the tray, I'm using a blue. And I'm not sure what color blue it said, true blue or something like that. And I think I put in 3 scoops. Yep, 3 little spoonfuls. And then I'm just mixing it slowly until all the mica powder is mixed up. And then I'm just going to pour it in my large tray. So with this one, I did 150, and then I think I had to do about 20 more. So this one took about 170 milliliters, I believe. But it too has a little thing there in the middle for you to attach your hardware when it is fully cured. And then I'm just taking my alcohol to it, and that pops any bubbles. And I did do it, you know, about 2 or 3 times, and it didn't affect my resin at all. I was kind of afraid that it might. And here's where I had to mix up more resin for this one. Like I said, I think it took about 170 milliliters. The middle one was about 100, and the little one was about 90. And as you're pouring this, this is the top of the mold. So the bottom portion is the bottom portion of the tray. The top portion here is the top of the tray. And I did spray this again with the alcohol. And here's, I'm showing you it's 91%. I wasn't sure about using it, but then I saw another person use it, and I'm like, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to try it. So this was my first time trying the alcohol to pop bubbles. Now this is later on, and my pink layer, which is the smaller layer, the top layer, is all cured, and it is so pretty. So like I said, I like the top side of it and not the part that was next to the mold. I don't think it looked as good, so I'm going with that as my top. I didn't particularly like that. It looked a little plain. Same thing with all 3 of them. So this is the yellow one. I just love those colors. They're so pretty. The blue too. So I thought by making the tray these colors, you could use it for like a baby shower. You could use it for Easter. And then really you could use it for any time. I wouldn't put food directly on it. I would put, you know, like cupcakes or something in little cups or something like that. Now, this is the same day I poured this large one here. The other 2 I poured the day before, so they're fully cured. This large one here is not fully cured. It is bendable. So I was thinking about taking it out of the mold. And then I was like, well, if I lay it on this styrofoam, it might take on the indentations of the styrofoam, and I didn't really want that. I wanted it smooth on the bottom. So I'm just going to leave it on the mold, and then I'll take it fully out of the mold tomorrow. So this is the next day, and my bottom layer there is fully cured, and it is hard. And I'm going to start attaching my hardware to it. Now, actually, my neighbor gave me this mold and gave me the hardware. Thank you, Lonnie. Thank you very much. He'd never poured it or anything. These were brand new molds, and I guess, you know, he didn't want it or whatever, so he gave it to me, and I totally appreciate it. So there's one bolt, I guess you could say, that you put on the very bottom, and you put those little washers in there. One is a metal one, which I put up next to the bolt, and then you have these white ones. I also put one of those on there too. And then you just screw it in. Make sure you hold on to the other piece so it doesn't move around while you're putting the bolt in. And then I'm going to go to the next layer. And I did forget to put my little white washer in there. Or did I put it in there? Oh no, I did put it in there. And I should have put it on top of the blue one there. But I don't think it would have fit anyway. Because my layers, I poured them all the way up to the top of the mold. And I think the screw parts for the hardware just wasn't long enough for all the washers. So I had to take some of them off. I wasn't able to use but about half of them that were in the bag. Because see there, I'm trying to screw it on and it's just not long enough. So I'm like, okay, is something wrong with this? Will it not fit? And it did screw on. So now I know that it's because it's just not enough of the screw or bolt or whatever you want to call it. It's poking up to screw the piece of hardware onto. So after trying to get it several times, because I'm not one to give up very easily apparently, I took that washer off the bottom there and just left it on the one on the top. Now this one is a little bit more difficult to get it screwed down as tight as you need it to, because you kind of have to hold on to the metal pole that you've already put on and the very bottom tray. And now I'm going to do the top tray. I'm putting my little washers on there. I did it on the top and the bottom. And this one seemed to screw on okay. So I don't know if maybe my yellow, the middle there was just, I poured it too thick or something. I mean, they all look kind of the same size to me. But see that? It still didn't want to work. So I'm like, okay, well, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I'm playing around with it. I'm like, okay, I got to get this on here. And then I try to put that one on there. It's not what I needed to do. Needed to put this one on. So I take that washer off too, and I try another one. That's what it was. I tried a different one. And I think that worked out okay. But you need to get all the pieces tight. And then, because you have that bottom bolt kind of sticking out, it's not going to be level on your table. So I have these felt snowflakes I had got from Hobby Lobby, you know, sometime after Christmas when everything was 90% off. And I'm using my E6000 glue, and I'm just putting it on the arms and the middle portion of my snowflake, and I'm going to use those as little coaster parts for the bottom tray. And that way that bolt part, that bolt head, is not going to sit on your table. The felt pieces are. They're pretty thick. I didn't have any of those ones that you would use on a tray or something like that. So I found these in my stash, and I'm like, you know what? These will work. And who's going to look at the bottom of the tray anyway? And if they do, so what, right? Waste not, want not. That's what I say. Use what you got. So that's what I did. The E6000 worked very well on it. Didn't have any problems with that. So I put 4 of them on so they would fit on there really well. And then the bolt head would be in the center so that when I put it down on the table, only the felt touches the table. But I just love these 3 colors and that pink. That pink is so vibrant. It looks so pretty. Like I said, you could use this for Easter, put like cupcakes that are in, you know, the little cupcake holders, or baby shower stuff. You can do little things and put mints in them or something, or nuts or whatever. I just wouldn't have them touch the resin piece, because even though if it says it is food safe, that I've heard that that is not the case with any resin. So I would have something between your food and the resin piece itself. So here it is. Let me know what you think in the comments. And is this something you would use? Again, I'm Liz with Liz's Crafts, and if you like what you see, give me a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, please think about doing so. And I post videos and shorts each day of the week. Bye.